Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making Korean nachos. I wanted to try to do something different with Impossible Burger meat and try to keep this as vegetarian as possible. So to start this dish, I have about 30 wonton wrappers here. I'm just going to cut them in half. You should be preheating your oven to about 400 degrees at this point. On a parchment lined baking sheet, we're going to brush this with a little neutral oil before layering down our little wonton chips. We just want these in an even single layer. And I did 2 baking sheets of this. We're going to brush the top with a little bit more oil, sprinkle with some kosher salt, some gochugaru, and some black sesame seeds. And we're going to bake this in the oven for only 5 to 7 minutes. This happens very quickly. Once they're nice and crispy, we're going to pull them out and let them cool and work on our bulgogi sauce. So I'm grating in about a teaspoon of ginger, 3 cloves of garlic. We also need 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, giving this a really good mix and setting that aside. Now you can't have nachos without cheese, so I have some Monterey Jack and some cheddar. Just grating this on the largest holes of my box grater, and we only need about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of each. So that's ready to go. We can set that aside as well. Now for our sauce, we're going to do a sriracha mayo. So we have 2 tablespoons of kewpie mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of sriracha, and the juice from about 1/4 of a lime. Give that a good mix and pop that in the fridge. For our garnish, we're going to chop up 3 scallions, 1 jalapeno, and we're also going to use kimchi. We want to cut this up, but not with a knife. Like any good Korean, go in there with your scissors and just chop this into bite-sized pieces. Now over medium-high heat in a saute pan, I've added a tablespoon of vegetable oil, and we're adding in our Impossible Burger. We just want to cook this until it's nicely brown, and it's amazing how much this looks like burger meat. If you're using regular hamburger, you're going to have to drain this before adding in your bulgogi sauce. Stir this around and let this cook for about 5 minutes until that gets all incorporated and flavored through. We can set that aside and put a new saute pan down, a clean one. Add in a tablespoon of vegetable oil, tip in all of our kimchi, making sure to scrape in all of that spicy fermented goodness in. We're going to add a teaspoon of regular sesame oil, a teaspoon of sugar, stir that around and let that cook for 5 minutes. Now your oven should still be at 400 since you've been doing your chips, so let's assemble our nachos. So in an even layer, I'm just sprinkling over as much of this bulgogi meat over the top as you want. You can use less, you can use more. We're going to top this with our shredded cheese, and we're going to bake this in the oven at 400 degrees just until that cheese gets all melty and bubbly, which should take about 7 minutes. These are looking gorgeous. So now let's go ahead and top with our kimchi. You just want to spread this around so you get a bite of kimchi in almost every chip. We're going to sprinkle on our jalapeno, our scallions, some crispy shallot, and some black sesame seeds. And then, last but not least, we'll drizzle with our sriracha mayo. Now, let's go ahead and give these a try. Let's see if we can get a nice cheese bowl first. Oh yes, that is satisfying. And that's what you want to see when you're making nachos or eating them. Okay, enough stretching. Let's go ahead and really give this a taste. You get that taste of Korean bulgogi. The Impossible Burger meat is really hearty and tastes just like meat. You get that fermentation and spice from the kimchi, the heat from the jalapenos, the sweetness from that crispy shallot, and that spicy creaminess from the sriracha mayo. This is absolutely delicious, and I really hope you all try to make it. But there it is, Korean nachos using Impossible Burger. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you loved it, subscribe and hit that notification bell because I put out new videos every Thursday. Thank you again, and until next time, happy cooking.